based on the footage that you have?
Thank you, Trevor, for having me. Good evening, Kenyans. Let me start by saying that today has been a very sad day for Kenyans and even for us in the National Police Service, just by what happened today, going by that incident that was circulating on social media. Once it happened and we seized over it, we swung into action and we mobilized our officers to do an operation based just from the images and what we could identify. So far, 16 have been arrested, as you've heard the traffic officer say over there. And I can't really tell you, I know what I know for sure, we are looking for more, but I can't give you the exact numbers as per now.
Yeah. But are you aware of the deteriorating relationship between Boda Boda riders and motorists, and what are you doing about it?
Yeah, it is a fact, and it's something we've been aware of for quite some time. And we've been doing so much that maybe Kenyans wouldn't be able to know. Like, for example, in most towns or most urban centers, we've been carrying out operations just to try to bring back sanity on our roads, coming up from this kind of impunity that is brought on our roads by the border people. So we've been doing so many law enforcement operations just to restore some sanity, some normalcy on the roads. And beyond that, again, as traffic officers, they have a law enforcement option. Not a law enforcement, but I mean a law prevention option of reaching out to them in groups, trying to talk to them and teaching them about the Traffic Act, teaching them about what we call the Highway Code, and just good behaviors on the road. So there's so much we are doing about it, and we have been trying to engage them through their local leadership and see how we could maybe try to bring them on the table and work together and just try to show them how it should be.
But what is the challenge, really? Because this relationship still goes south every single time there's an incident.
The challenge, I think, it comes from the fact that, you see, most sectors, economic sectors, most of them will find that people should maybe have some basic qualifications. They go through some kind of a training, which even them they expected, because a Boda Boda, that's a motorcycle. And by definition, Traffic Act, it is actually a motor vehicle. So they should be regulated and follow all the laws and regulations as per the Traffic Act, the Highway Code, and all other expectations. Yeah. But then the problem is, you see, this kind of an influx. Of course, us as police and maybe as government, we thought it was a good thing to give them an opportunity to have a pathway to economic empowerment. Yeah. But then now, we see, because of the floodgates, you know, everybody went into the sector. So we maybe weren't so much prepared in terms of enforcement, in terms of policy. And by that, what I'm trying to say is that most of them end up being on the road, but without following the rule of law or maybe the legal expectations. Yeah. Yes. So what do you advise motorists who has had an accident with a Boda Boda operator? Because there was some who are saying that it will just be a hit and run and go straight to the police station. Do you advise them to stop or just come straight to a police station? This is a very gray area, Trevor, for us, because the law is very clear. Do an accident, you have to stop and report. It's a baseline. But then now with this habits, I mean, or this culture of Boda Boda where they have to accost you and accost you and maybe rough you up, is now giving motorists, I mean, that fear. People want to obey the law and do what's right. So they have to drive, which is an offense. But then now there's an issue, you have to make a balance between your safety and following the law. So, but I can't say that I'm advising, motorists to take off. What I can say is that you analyze the situation as it is and do what you think is first best for your personal health, safety. But having said that, it still comes back to us as law enforcement and maybe rest of government in a multidisciplinary manner to do all we can to restore sanity on the roads. Yeah. Posed by this, the Boda Boda people. Yeah, before you take another quick diversion from this conversation, let me bring up a statement by Martha Koome, the Chief Justice. She just sent this statement straight to the newsrooms just a few moments ago. It reads in part that I hope that the perpetrators will be apprehended and processed through the criminal justice system in a systemic manner, observing efficient judicial management of any preferred case in accordance with the tenets of the Constitution
and the rule of law. She further says, I join other Kenyans in condemning the heinous and cruel acts of violence meted against a young female motorist earlier on, and they registered the unequivocal voice in declaring the act cruel, inhumane, and absoluting of any sense of humanity. She says that you have to go through the system in a systemic manner to ensure justice is served. What are you going to charge them with so that we don't see them leaving with a slap on the wrist?
Yeah, first of all, I want just to agree with the Honorable CJ, what he said. We agree with her. And even as police, we are part of that criminal justice system. And that's what we do all the time. When an offense occurs, we arrest, we pursue, we arrest, we investigate, and take them through the system. So that's what we have already done, and what we are going to do with the other people who are still at large. So having said that, we shall make sure that all these cases that we have, they're well investigated and taken to court.
Yeah.
And we have to collaborate with the other actors, along the chain of criminal justice. These are the prosecutions and the judiciary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bruno, stay with me in just a bit. I'll come back to you and talk about the state of security in a different conversation in just a bit. But also there's a statement from the Women on Boards network on the public attack and harassment of incident by the Boda Boda operators on Forest Road, which is now Professor Wangari Maathai Road. They say that WOBN strongly condemns this incident in no uncertain terms as unwarranted, and the physical attack on the lady driver and a person in what can justifiably amount to sexual harassment. They also note that this is coming just a day before the International Women's Day, and they're condemning it in the strongest terms. A lot of reactions still keep coming. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But let's shift